Hey, so I realized that I'm here vlogging about my journey and talking about my process, but I never really told you guys the story. So, one, I'm gonna apologize because I'm on like day 1 or 2 of my recovery. I just got my wisdom tooth pulled out, so I'm talking and I'm not moving my teeth because I'm in pain. And then, of course, now is when I decide to have a big old confessional because that just makes sense, right? Anyways, I want to break down my story as to how I became an exaholic. Oh, yeah, how I became. Basically, let's start from the beginning. I know right now I'm challenging myself to be real and honest and open, and I realize there's a lot of things that I'm clearly going through. I have never been manless in my life since I was 14. I have either had a boyfriend, dated somebody, talking to somebody, in a relationship with somebody, and if it isn't, I had a couple of dudes on the roster that, kept me entertained. So I've never been manless since I was 14, and I'm 27, so yeah, 13 years. It's a struggle to face the fact that as an adult, I don't know how to be alone. I mean, I think that's a real large part of the reason why I have such an addiction. So let's jump forward. I decided before this relationship that this was going to be my last relationship. I was going to put everything into this relationship. I know I'm a person who I'll own it when I mess up. Because when I do, I play my part and I can understand the process. My relationships prior, I've always had a part and a hand to play into it. This relationship was going to be different. I was going to be the perfect girlfriend because this was going to be my final relationship. I was going to find the man of my dreams, everything on my paper, on my list, like you name it, this was going to be it for me. So then I met the guy who has everything on my list. And I was going to make it work. Problem number one, I was going to make it work. Was it completely reciprocated? Clearly not, because look where I am right now, poking up. So I met him, and I did just that. I put my everything into him. We talked for a while, and how long were we together? Some people are probably going to ask, and this may seem ludicrous to some, because I know there are people who are exaholics because they've been married for 13, 15 years, and different stories, different strokes for different folks. But let me say this was basically just under 2 years. And when I started, again, I went full throttle. Now with that time we were dating and talking and whatnot, I really grew fond of this man, more so than I ever had in any other book, because there was so many things that he exemplified that I really wanted in my ideal partner. And I fell in love with this person. Now for me, y'all don't know me, but for me, I don't fall in love easily. And I don't say I love people easily, because I believe it's something that holds such power, and it's something so genuine that it should be real if you do say it. And this is the first person I fell in love with. And I mean, from a biblical standpoint, from whatever outlook you have, I was in love with this person. I showed patience, kindness, forgiveness, everything possible. I love this person. And we won't call him Charlie, just to, if I ever go with a name, we won't call him Charlie. So anyhow, me and Charlie now were dating, and we became official. And then, just like that, the script flipped. We started off, let's just say, in June, and by August we were broken up. Why? Because Charlie had issues. He decided that he needed to work on his life. Now, I was never a person to hinder. I encouraged him. I was a part of things. I put everything into him and bettering what he wanted, to the point I neglected a lot with me. His dream was my dream now. Anything he manifested, I was going to help manifest and make it happen. So we were good. I became so consumed with him, I started to fade away. Now, last year, ironically, was probably the worst year and hardest year of my life. I went through so much. And also within that summer, I got into a very bad accident, and I lost my career in which I went to school to study for. On top of the fact that I had my house broken into, like, it was so traumatic. There's so many, it was like, you know, when they say where things happen in threes, like literally I had accident, the break-in, and the breakup. So by the end of summer, we broke up on his accord. Now, I couldn't accept that. This is the man I said I was going to love and I was going to work through everything. Like, no. And it didn't make sense. It wasn't a good enough reason why he left. So a month or so went by and we ended up talking again, got back together because I'm like, you can't leave me. I'm great. Needless to say, we got back together. A couple months went by. Everything's happy, hunky-dory. By the way, we have 2 kids and they meshed well. Like, I mean, literally, if you are a single mother, it couldn't have gone any better. So the kids are great, we're great. And then Christmas rolls around, and I'm like, you know, he doesn't come from a large family. I'm like, I do. I'm like, baby, come, let's just have a good time. Man flipped out on me and told me he needed space. He got mad at me for the fact that he didn't come to my Christmas dinner, and I was disappointed. That was just messed up. So that was Christmas ruined, New Year's ruined. We didn't start talking again until probably January. No, my birthday's in February. So we got back together just around that time. Amazing birthday. Everything's hunky-dory. He apologized. He knows he's wrong. Blah, 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 blah. Then now, a couple months later, he started another fight with me because I said, you know what, we need to work on our intimacy and being closer. And he picked a fight and he disappeared. Now, every breakup we have, he disappears for a couple weeks, like a month, of just stupidness and over things that don't make sense in any normal, functional, healthy relationship. So he gets into this big fight with me and cuts me off again and then comes back around after because I'm always pushing. We could work on this. We could do better. We have kids involved. Blah, 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 blah. He comes back around. So now a couple of months go by again. And this time there's a different spin on it. I find out he's cheating. Shocker. Not really. He cheated on me with multiple people and entered the pockets of periodic times in which we broke up. So obviously I did my digging, and obviously I did my contacts, and obviously I did all the research, and obviously I found out everything. The most sorry he had ever been, supposedly. And you know what? Honestly, I tried to forgive. I wanted this so bad. Like, this is now what, strike 4? This relationship should have been done in any healthy eyes, but I love this man so much. Did he love me? Clearly not. But I loved him. I loved him through everything. I was going to work this work. Now, he has broken me. When every time we broke up, when I said he broke me, I was devastated. I was hurt. I was depressed. It would affect my work. It would affect my mood. It would affect my other relationships. My family and friends started to hate him, obviously. So that was an issue on its own, too. Anyways, didn't matter. That was my boo. I was going to love him through it all. We were going to work through this. Now, not even a month after, I think, of him trying to make right, did I see him falling back into his traditional bullshit. So, needless to say, now the trust factor is ruined. He's acting too shady for me. He's attempting. I'll give him he tried, but not for long. And that ended up just creating more issues. Now, we were supposed to go on vacation. We were supposed to do this. We were supposed to do that. And I did everything to make sure that was going to happen. Ain't nobody going to ruin my vacation. So he tried to break it up. I got crazy at this point now. I'll admit when I'm wrong. I was wrong. He did a move at the end of the summer. We didn't break up after everything. Like I said, he said slip back into his ways, but I didn't prove anything. And at that point, my mind was already made up that I was going to put him in his place too. He weren't going to test me any further. Yeah. He tested me, and I saw some 2 familiar patterns. And let's just say, long story short, I took a crazy girl approach. If anybody knows that Jasmine Sullivan, she busted windows out your car type of thing. I didn't bust no windows, but let's just say things were damaged in the process of my mad moments. And I'm not going to get into details, but let's just say I got crazy. And we got into a fight after that and almost compromised everything. but he tried to forgive me because he knew that where my headspace was at was only because of the actions that he did. And because I also forced his hand with our vacation, making him kind of go. A lot of things were done under, I want to say, some real manipulative moves on my behalf. I will own it, but I got what I wanted. Now, when I'm saying this out loud, I could see how unhealthy this thing really turned out to be. But through it all, I was either blind struck or I have this weird misconception that I still love this person. So we ended up going on this vacation together. It was the best vacation, the best time we spent ever. We didn't even fight. 7 days of pure bliss and happiness. We were so happy. And then we touched ground, and literally the moment we landed in our country, Canada, he was back to BS. See, now let me give you the backstory on this. I've been checking into his phone, into his stuff, and I've been doing my detective work for a month prior to our vacation. When I saw the shady movements, I've been checking up on him. And lo and behold, I found he was getting slicker with his covering his tracks, but not slick enough for me not to realize what was going on. So I was mad. Yes, I was mad on our vacation, but I wanted it so bad. I just kept it going and going and going. And I was playing this game, but ultimately getting myself very upset. And that all built up to a final big ta-da action of me pulling another stunt. So it became like a game. He was doing whatever he was doing, thinking he was getting away with it. And I was just allowing things, biding my time, until I honestly just sabotaged the whole thing. They still want him. And like I'm here now struggling to this getting over process, but we've both crossed so many lines. And I mean, at the end of the day, it is all his fault. But I own my shit. And I could say honestly, I made some moves that were really compromising. The man said to me, he messed up and he did wrong and I should have walked away, which he's right. But like I said, I was in love with this person. I've never been in love with this person. I've never been that obsessive. And reading that book that I quoted in the last couple of videos, y'all need to read it to understand why I did what I did, because it sounds ludicrous and I do get it, but it makes sense when you read that book. Anyways, long story short, his final line that got me was, he messed up and he did things wrong, but I do things that are borderline criminal. And he's right. It was like absolutely mayhem when I want to sit back and look at it, but I loved him, and that was all I could keep telling everybody. But I love him, but I love him, but I love him. I want him. I just want him to love me the way he's supposed to love me. But it was never going to happen. So that's my story in a nutshell, in the most fastest way possible I could wrap it up, and that's still like 15 minutes long, and I'm sorry. But there's a lot of madness, and there's always another woman, basically, was my basis. And right now I stand single and struggling, and I miss him, and I want to go back to that craziness that sounds so wrong. But hence why I'm on this journey, and I hope if anyone else is going through their journey, story time with your ex, let it be known. Get it out there, because for me, this is therapeutic. And to the point I'm talking when I just had somebody drill a massive hole and pull out a tooth out of my mouth. Talk it out, work it out, whatever makes your journey smoother, let it be known. As I'm going to continue vlogging, I'm going to continue talking about this, because I know there's so many people going out there. And it sounds crazy to anybody who isn't going through this, but at some point, I don't wish this on anybody, but you're going to go through that love where you go back, and you know you shouldn't. And I'm a rational, I'm a smart individual. Though it doesn't sound like my actions would amplify that, I am. But I'm just saying there's something different when you get love struck. So tomorrow I have my meeting with Dr. Lisa Bobby. I'm very, very excited with that. I will be vlogging after that. And I hope this kind of clears up why I feel like I'm that crazy chick. Anyways, everybody have a blissful night, and this is my Confessions of an Exaholic Journey on Healing. Night, y'all.